AskReddit. You are now the manager of purgatory. It's a mix between heaven and hell. How would you make people uncomfortable while they can also enjoy things? It is always the perfect weather and temperature you like, and you can do whatever you want. Unfortunately, you have mild allergies giving you a bit of a runny nose and itchy watery eyes forever. Free tickets to the movies, but the guy that chews popcorn loudly sits right next to you in every one. And the person behind you has their feet up on your chair. And the person in front of you has to pop open their phone to send chats during the best parts. You can watch any sporting event live, but the seats are slightly tilted forward. Not enough to where it is obvious but enough for you to be uncomfortable, but don't know why. You can have anything you want, but you have to wait in line and everyone in the line is those, let me tell you my life story for some reason, stranger. And the wait is at least 5 hours. This is pretty much what happened to me at the DMV. One time the lady ahead of me was sharing how nervous she was about her driving test. She wasn't originally from the US, so she was used to different rules. I was trying to be pleasantly reassuring. I felt sympathetic towards her. But then she said just feel how cold and clammy my hands are, and grabbed mine. Her hands were indeed very cold and clammy. I have to admit, I was a little weirded out, and I was gloomily aware that now my hands were totally covered in someone else's sweat, and I felt like it would be rude to try to wipe it off. She passed her test, BTW. But stuff like this happens to me all the goddamn time. Give them good television shows with too many damn commercial breaks. Not just that, but there will be one particular commercial that plays every break. And the one commercial is forehead on. Apply directly to forehead. All of your clothing fits you like a glove and makes you look great. But will always be slightly damp. Joke's on you. I sweat so much I'm always slightly damp anyway. You're secretly in purgatory. They get to watch TV, but no matter how many times they wipe it off the clicker, it's always uncomfortably sticky. Living with kids. No, that's just hell. Make the temperature just cold enough to need a sweater, but too hot to wear one. This is my heaven. You can have my sweater. Make the temperature different for each person so that everyone, even you monsters who like it cold, are equally forced to want a sweater. Please set mine to nuclear winter. Ash and snow. Ash and snow. It's cold as hell. Everything's dead and haven't seen the sun in years. Please stop, I can only get so erect. Create a luxury beach resort in purgatory, but in order to swim they need to wear socks. Not too bad. Once you're in for a few minutes you can't feel it. As long as you take them off, when you get out you'll be fine. Yes, I just stood in the bath for a few minutes doing this to find out. I admire your dedication to science. Surprise spankings. Sometimes sexy, sometimes serious. Sounds kinky. Everyone has their own personal bathroom stall fixed the way they want it, but there's a 2-inch wide gap in between the door and the stall wall. So basically every bathroom stall in America. And I'm standing outside making intense eye contact with you. And I'm shitting loudly. The longer you stare, the harder I shit. Everyone has wings and can fly, but there is a little pebble stuck where the joint of one wing meets the body. Like bone spur kind of way or rock between your toes kind of way. Rock between your toes kinda way. Not painful, just highly uncomfortable. The Wi-Fi is amazing, as long as you're sitting on top of a cupboard or halfway down the stairs. Edit. People seem to think sitting on the stairs is comfortable enough. In my house, the stairs are so thin even I can't fit my buttocks on them, and the carpet is itchy. So the stairs would all be like that. I chilled my fair bit on the stairs would get a pillow and chill there tbh. No pillow allowed, only a pillowcase, if you are lucky. Free high-speed Wi-Fi, that cuts out 4 random intervals at random times of the day. So my current life. Now I know I'm in purgatory. Or living under a Comcast monopoly which is basically hell light. More like hell LTE hell 10. Let them do what they enjoy, but there's a large, disembodied eye, like the sun, watching at all times. I'd just ignore it, like the sun. Now it watches you. You can feel the attention, like you can feel someone watching you. Unlimited orange juice, but only after you've brushed your teeth. Phil Collins in the Air Tonight is on loop in the background, but it always restarts before the drum solo kicks in. Out of all the things I've seen on here, this is the worst. Unlimited beer, but it's always warm. Surprise, you're in England. I'm going music. Every song you could imagine is available to stream, but only Kids Bop version. All the other meaners with the cool shoes better run, faster than my Nerf gun. Everything has a 4-hour line, but at the end of the line whatever it is top quality. No one is allowed to talk in line. Free video games, but they have loot boxes to get better equipment. Having a sock that's slightly twisted in your shoes. Everyone's smartphone will phantom buzz a couple of times a day. No notification or cause for it. Anytime someone wants to go upstairs, there'd be slow old people in front of them, making it agonizing to walk up any stairs. We copy the real world, but the only brands are supermarket generic brands. Do you kids want cocoa kernels or frosted mounds? I'll take the Rice Krispies. Make them work 8 hours or more each day, but give them access to Reddit to help distract them. Out a huge, wonderful television in the common room, but only have one remote. Or, everyone gets a remote. Every beverage will be lukewarm right at the point where it's neither enjoyable nor unpleasant. Anytime you have a sex, it'll seem like you're about to have a fabulous orgasm, however it'll just be underwhelming enough to have mild disappointment. Food will look absolutely amazing and smell great, but then once you bite into it, it'll be just a tad under-seasoned, or slightly off in seasoning. All gadgets will run slower than normal, but just enough to reach the end of your patience before it'll work okay. There will constantly be close calls, where you're faced with some form of torture, but then at the last second it stops before it begins. Everything seems to just be out of reach and take extra effort to be able to grab. The temperature will be that area where it's just a little warm, but you'll have a fan which almost cools you down. There will always be those annoying 8 to 13-year-old kids who talk obsessively about Fortnite, PUBG, and Minecraft with you. When going to the market, there will only be foods and drinks that are one day past the sell-by date and looked as if they were dropped one too many times. You'll slightly stub your toe, step on a random Lego, or get a paper cut at least once a week. You'll accidentally sit on something wet when you have to pee or poo. There will be that one couple that you see all the time that's actually experiencing heaven and are vacationing in the Midland. You'll take a wonderful shit every time you poo. You know, the one that makes you feel all good to let it go. But no matter how many times you wipe, there always seem to be a little poo left. Your orders at Hectornord's and Purgatory King will start out exactly as you expected, but they'll always mess up your order. Every time you eat, you'll eat well, but you will overeat and get that miserable "I ate too much" feeling. You'll get to nap in one of the most comfortable contraptions you can think of, only to be woken up every single time, right before you fall into that amazing blissful sleep. There's a talent show, and it is obligatory for everyone to show up. Everyone needs to perform for at least 2 minutes. That's hell for me. Unskippable ads before everything. All you get to enjoy stuff on electronic devices, but they can only have the volume set at an odd number. Give them a beautiful house to live in, but it's always under construction. Free frozen yogurt everywhere, but no ice cream anywhere. Free Capri Suns, but the floor is also really sticky.